Hello from Universal Orlando for another construction update and an update on what we could expect from the Fast and Furious roller coaster coming here to the Universal Orlando Park in 2027. Starting right here in the park with the newly completed arch over the plaza stage, really framing it perfectly. It's such a beautiful element, and the supports are hidden perfectly from pretty much every angle, giving off a really nice, clean look to the whole area. Plus, the vehicles that are going to be on this track are huge, and they sit really far off of the track itself because they're able to rotate that 360 degrees. So that mechanism is just very large underneath each car spinning independently. So the scale is just going to look really awesome here. It's going to be pretty amazing. So the first launch coming from the right side, and we can also see a structure actually starting to go up around the initial switch tracks and the switch track before the first launch of this ride. So we might be able to expect to be totally enclosed inside a building during the first moment of this ride as we're pulling out of the station and through these two switch tracks. And then if you're in the front vehicle, you'll actually become the back vehicle, and vice versa, back to front. So into the first launch, and then launching into that forwardmost track, the wave turn. And you can also see how cars traveling on the way back are just going to perfectly line up with the top of this track and go over this arch with this straight airtime hill. So overall, the views from this center area of the theme park here are just really going to be great. And it's really going to give some amazing angles from both riders and onlookers, especially with the rotating cars. They can rotate riders the direction that they want them to be looking. So maybe down towards the stage or out towards the park. It's just going to be a very cool feature here. A few people have been talking about how this could be a dueling moment for two trains going in opposite directions. It's possible that this does happen. It's definitely something that could happen time to time. But overall, there's just going to be a lot of kinetic energy throughout this entire ride because the dispatches are actually pretty quick. So after this first wave turn, and it really does bump out a lot. So we're going to get some nice airtime here. And then we have these really cool S-bends, really low to the ground. The speed's going to be nice here just to be down here right at ground level and turning quickly. And then the quick bank and downward S to another turn. And then the quick S-bend air hill. All of this pretty low to the ground, this whole section. And we're out into the almost furthest section of the City Walk area for one final turn into the mid-course block break. So once we head through this break, once we pass all the way through, the train behind us is actually able to already move forward into that first launch at the beginning of the ride. So that's where those pretty good and quick operations are going to come into play with this ride. It's only 4 cars a vehicle, likely, so you're losing about 8 people per train versus something like Velocicoaster. But with these quicker operations in the double station, we really should have some awesome capacity still. Then into the switch track and a quick launch through a pretty sharp airtime hill and the large spike element of the ride, where we'll turn around, likely be spinning as well, and then back through the launch again, through the switch, and then into this unknown large element. Likely the largest element of the second half, some kind of large turn that's going to lead us to the left and then back down. This is really the last part of the ride that's still unknown, this one element. Down into this quick bunny hop here, and then into a very banked cutback. I call this an inversion, another cool element that can really have riders rotating towards City Walk or a different direction if they wanted to give a really crazy feel to this quite simple looking element. That's what's so cool about this ride. There's so many moments to it where we're going to get some insane feelings and forces like we've really never felt before on a ride. And we're not even really going to be sure what those are until the testing phases start and they get to the later phases of testing. down and then right back up into a stall, likely turning right at the entrance and then spinning out in that same direction, sort of like Velocicoaster, but mirrored. And we're likely going to be taking this at a much slower speed than the one on Velocicoaster, so we're going to probably feel that hang time here more and that zero G-force. Now we're into the final launch of the ride, just really a boost here. I think we're going to stay pretty steady at the speed that the cars are at this moment, and then into this really tall airtime moment, the finale of the ride. And I think it's a really great finish because you could be rotated sideways or just spinning, who knows, but to go through an airtime hill like this, a large airtime hill with these dynamic vehicles, it's going to be something really, really special. It's not my favorite to have boosts in the middle of the layout, something like Voltron. I think it kind of just messes with the physics of the ride. I kind of like a coaster to use all of its energy before it gets to another energy source. But that being said, it really is just, again, going to be one of those feelings that we haven't had before on a ride. So here's pretty much the general idea of the layout from start to finish. Without any spinning yet, we can really feel how it's coming together and how the pacing is looking and the whole feel of the ride.